Welcome back to another episode of TKO Podcast. Thank you. Scott Walker here, back for our weekly checkup. It was a great week. Probably had one of the best sets I think I've ever had. Doing 20 minutes up at WaifuCon, the freaky ass anime cosplay convention in Birmingham, Alabama. But we'll jump back a little bit further than that. So last week, during the week, I just did 2 open mics in Auburn and in Opelika, and they were great sets. And I was riffing a lot, especially on Wednesday, and the riffs were good. I was actually riffing on kind of stupid. It was working, but I was riffing on the Turning Point USA visiting Auburn. They're visiting Auburn actually tomorrow on Wednesday. On Wednesday, November 5th. But last week on Wednesday, I thought they were visiting that night. So I was making a bunch of Turning Point jokes, but they still worked because it was just a relevant thing happening. But I assumed it was that night, so that was pretty stupid of me. But still, great sets. I even said on Thursday to JD, I was like, man, I've had like 2 really good sets this week. I'm kind of nervous about the anime convention. Because like usually when I'm building momentum and I haven't bombed in a long time, I start to think like, damn, I haven't bombed in a while. And then I'm planting a seed of doubt, like where I'm due to bomb. Technically, I should bomb sometime soon, but I'm not sure when. I hope the fucking volume's good on this. This is pissing me off. Is the volume all right? I think it is. Sorry, I hit a button to check the volumes. But yeah, I was like, don't listen to the doubt. Believe in yourself. So got to Birmingham on Saturday. Travis joined the show. It was JD McKenna, me, Travis Johnson, and Roderick McDaniel. That was the show lineup. We all did 20s. But Roderick booked it. He's a Comedy Mothership regular. I've mentioned him on the pod a bunch of times. Shout out to Rod. He's the man. But yep. He's a G. Certified professional. But we got there kind of early just to like check out the convention. And when I got there, I was like, this is a lot. It's a lot of stimulation. There's a lot of people dressed up. There's a lot of things being sold, trinkets, art, fucking you name it, jackets, Capsule Corp jackets. And I didn't buy anything, but it was pretty cool. Everyone was having a good time. There's a lot of people dressed up. But we got there so early that Travis and JD were like, you guys want to go hit Mom's Basement, which is just like a bar in Birmingham, and just get some cheap drinks. And this was like 4:00, and the show wasn't until 9 p.m. So we were like, yeah, let's just go hit some drinks. And Mom's Basement is fucking sick. That might be like, I've only been there once, but that's like a top 5 bar for me. I would love to go back there next time I'm up there. Just a little dive bar. They have high noons. That's a big positive for me. When we were pulling up, it had a big high noons neon light in the window, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm drinking high noons. I later switched to Miller Lite out of necessity. Speaking of neon signs, I got a TKO neon sign on right behind me right now. I'm pimping out the podcast studio. I've got some artwork coming in. I have some signed Alex Pereira poster. I have some Dragon Ball Z posters from a guy that I met at the convention who's pretty fucking sick. His name's Ozzy the Virus. Y'all follow him. Check out his artwork. He's got some sick anime drawings. And I'm going to throw my Muhammad Ali poster in here as well. So I'm decking out the studio. I'm going to start doing video stuff. probably going to do a little segment coming up soon where I play GeoGuessr and just record me playing it. I think it'd be funnier if I drink when I do that, but I don't know. I really don't want to rely on drinking to be funny for streaming, because I feel like that's a slippery slope. That happened to me a couple times. Like I've done two. I think I've done 2 podcasts after drinking, and I remember thinking, "Man, that was fucking awesome, dude. I need to drink more for podcasts." And I was like, "Nope, we're not doing that." But so we got pretty tossed at Mom's basement. I was trying to pace myself, trying to drink like an adult. Because usually Travis said I drink high noons like they're Capri Suns, and that's true. It's pretty factual. I chug them, but that's how I like to chug. That's how I like to drink, bro. I'm a fast-paced drinker. I don't drink a lot, but when I do, I drink hard. I can't really say I drink hard when I drink high noons. If I drink hard, I'd be like chugging whiskey, which there have been times where young comedy Scott was drinking kind of hard. But anywho, so we tossed back a bunch of drinks at Mom's basement, and we're just talking, shooting the shit, and we got pretty sauced. I was like, damn, I'm getting kind of fucking drunk. And the show's in like a couple hours. It was like 7. It was like 7 something, almost 8. We're like, hey, we should probably head back to the hotel and get ready for the show. And I was like, damn, I'm kind of fucked up, but I'm gonna pick up like a 12-pack of Millers. And Travis and JD kind of started to taper down a little bit. They're like, yeah, we need to kind of like keep our wits about us before the show. And I was like, I'm gonna drink like one more. I'll have another one, blah, blah, blah. I was kind of, I didn't really taper down. I kind of just kept the flow going. So then cut to, we're in the bottom floor of a Hilton hotel in this like meeting room it's got like 100 plus anime convention participants decked out in cosplay, and surprisingly it was like 50% black. Like it was a significant black population, and I respect that because me, I roll deep with the black anime nerds. Those are the ones because like I know they like Dragon Ball Z. That's one thing. Like if there's a black guy who likes anime, he's either gonna like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto, and then we're cool. It's if he likes one of those two, almost a guarantee DBZ though. So we're on the same ground. But we're in like the comedy show was in like this big meeting room that had like 100 people. It was packed. Standing room only in the back. Like probably 10% of the audience was standing. Roderick decided that the best lineup would be JD goes first. I even said this too. I said JD should probably go first because he's the most friendly. Like I feel like his material is the most crowd friendly and nice. But I was like, either me or JD should go first. But JD went up. He went up first. He crushed. And I was in the back of the room, and I was like, damn, this is going to be tough to follow. So I'm going to have to come out hot. JD's keeping me on my toes right now. And earlier in the day, I thought of like a Naruto joke where I was like, I think it's weird being a white kid growing up being into Naruto because growing up, I was like, man, I wish I was part of a clan. I said that to Travis and JD like when I first got to the festival, and I was like, tell them, I'm kind of thinking about doing this Naruto joke. And Travis was like, fuck yeah, that's good. And I was like, hell yeah. Because I think I need to address the anime in the room before I just do my regular 20-minute set, So I actually opened up with a deep Dragon Ball Z riff because I just so happened to have turned on. I was watching part of the Cell games the night before going to Birmingham. I was like, I got to get in the anime zone. I had rewatched Naruto a little bit weeks before. Watched some Naruto versus Sasuke when they fought. But then I was like, you know what? I want to watch some of the Cell games. And my wife was like, can you turn that off? And I was like, so my first joke was, I walked up and I was like, man, first off, it's DBZ above everything else. Like, I made it clear. I was like, I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear no DBZ disrespect when I'm here, period. But people were like, hell yeah, hell yeah. I was like, last night I was watching the Cell games, and my wife told me, she was like, can you turn this off? And I was like, I almost hit that bitch with a spirit bomb. And everyone was like, oh, shit. And I held my hands up. I was like, Earth, lend me your energy. So I was like, anime riffs are hitting. Anime riffs are hitting. So I do the Naruto clan joke. Maybe the loudest pop of the night. I mean, it was crazy. I posted it on my YouTube and Instagram. But I feel like the video, the cell phone footage doesn't even do it justice. Like, that might be the loudest I've heard a room get for my stand up. Like, bruh, the Naruto riff. I mean, guttural laughter from the entire fucking room. It was decibels, the likes of which I've never seen. But I was getting really good pops for a lot of stuff, and even the drinking games Kobe Bryant bit fucking, I mean, that room was insanely loud when I was crushing. I think that's part of it being like predominantly black. It's like, oh, it's also it was an anime convention, but it was also a black room technically. So if you crush in a black room, you're gonna crush harder than you ever have in your entire life. But if you bomb in a black room, they're gonna let you know that they don't fuck with you. It's a notorious saying in stand-up comedy. They let it be known. But I was welcomed with open arms, and I crushed, I think, harder than I ever have doing stand-up. And I fuck with anime for life, you know. When I was a kid, I was super into Dragon Ball Z, super into Naruto. I forgot about this, but I remember this yesterday. I wore fucking ankle weights to middle school after seeing Rock Lee versus Gaara, dude. That's how deep cut I was, bro. I was rocking my mom's exercise ankle weights, pretending I was Rock Lee. And like I was going to take off these ankle weights and somehow be super fast like Rock Lee, literally a slow white kid. I'd take off the ankle weights and like black kids are still just flying past me. I'm like, they don't even know. I actually have the speed of Rock Lee. I actually did a Rock Lee riff later in that set too. I said my joke about KO and domestic violence. I was like, man, I was moving her all around that bitch like Rock Lee versus Gaara. That one hit hard, but didn't hit as hard as I thought it was going to. So I was like, are they gonna dig this anime riff? But it hit hard. It just, my previous Naruto joke leveled the room, so I had high expectations. But anywho, shout out to WaifuCon, man. That was fucking amazing. I had such a great time. I was riding high. I went back up to my room to grab some more Miller Lights at the end of Travis's set. I caught the closer of his set, and then I went up to grab Miller Lights, and I came down, and Rod was like still in the beginning of his set. But when I there was 3 left, so I was like, I'll bring one for Travis, one for JD, and then I was in my room and I was like, gotta celebrate. I popped that fucking Miller and chugged it in my room. I was like, you fucking crushed, kid. Chug this Miller. You deserve it. I was like, hell yeah, bro. But I was putting Travis and JD on game about how I do my sets in Excel, about how I rank my sets. I rank all my bits 1 to 5 every 3 to 4 months, and then structure my 10, 15, 20, 30-minute sets based off of the best ranking material. And Travis is like, dude, I think I'm going to start doing that. And I was like, I've been telling people about it because I think people dig that approach. And I think it is a good, because comedy's kind of 98, 99% of the time we're just thinking of new jokes, writing it down, and trying it at an open mic. A lot of the times we don't sit down and really like evaluate ourselves, which is a hard thing to do because I like to rank my bits numerically because I like numbers as a value. Numbers represent a value. I can assign numbers to things. But you have to be honest with the rankings. Like, you can't be. The only reason it works is because I'm brutally honest with myself. And I have a system that I think is pretty thorough. And first off, you have to gather data. You have to run the bits numerous times in many different cities and different venues to different crowds. So you get a gauge on what percentage of the time this works. How well it works. Does it crush? How often does it crush? Does it crush every time? Does it crush 90% of the time? Does it crush 80% of the time, etc., you know? So like a bit that's ranked 5 crushes minimum like 85 to 90% of the time. Like it's almost a certified crush. Unless I'm like fucking up the flow of the set or the crowd doesn't fuck with me, you know. It's supposed to be like a guaranteed crush. It has to be very well written. Like, it has to be a well-written bit, like to where a comedian would see it and be like, damn, that was a well-written bit, you know. You have to think like that. You have to think like that. Like, a professional comedian would be like, oh, yeah, you know what? That was actually pretty good writing. So how often does it crush? Like, percentage-wise, how good is it? Like, success rate is number one. How good does it do? How often? You have to go gather that data. That's the number one ranking. Number two, to me, is how well is it written? That's a big factor for me. Because I do a lot of bits, and sometimes I'll have a bit that, like, maybe it's a 70, 75% success rate, but it's very well written. So I'll keep it as like a 4. Like my bit about Tinder is the reason I hate that is because the premise is about dating and dating apps, which is such a fucking hack premise. But my joke about it is about dating 55-plus-year-old women. And what's funny about that is, like, I don't last long in bed, so I just want to cuddle real quick and then watch reruns of MASH or Gilligan's Island, you know, the classics. Watching some really old TV shows with her. And then it's like, there's nothing like a good bedtime story after a hookup. You know, Margaret, tell me what it was like during the Cold War. See, that's one for me that I like. I like a historical reference. So referencing the Cold War and identifying this 55-year-old plus woman as Margaret, which is like a super old name, that's funny to me. So that's why I put that. I actually kind of categorize that as a 5 because okay, so the top 3 criteria for it is success rate. How often does it crush? Number 2, how well written is it? And number 3, how much do I like the joke? So I like that joke. I wouldn't consider it super. I mean, it is well written, but I wouldn't consider it like a very well written joke just because it's on the premise of dating and dating apps, which to me is, I mean, you shouldn't even do it. Like, I try to write premises on stuff that, like, people aren't talking about. You know, you don't want to just do a hack premises like a premise like fucking airline food is fucking weird, you know. But that's the only one that I'm like, oh god, I hate bringing up the topic of dating and dating apps, but I do like the end of that joke. So that's really like a 4 or a 5. But then like a 3 is like something that like I have a joke about B-2 bombers, which is pretty funny. Like I've some of my comedians have been like, that is a great bit. I like that bit, and it is well written. Success rate, I'd say it's like a 70, 75. It's also the volume of the success rate. So it's like, you can have a bit do well, but does it, I mean, how loud is the room getting? Is the room screaming, laughing, or is all the room just giggling? So if all the room is giggling, technically you made everybody laugh. But if, like, I mean, even if the whole room isn't laughing, if 85% of the room is screaming, laughing, that's better than the whole room giggling. Okay? So it's like, success rate is also like decibels. How hard does that shit crush? Okay? So that's really my top 3 things that I think about when I'm trying to rank these bits very critically. So it's like success rate. How hard does it crush, and what's the percentage like crush rate? If I'm in a room of 100 people, how many of these people are going to be laughing, and how hard are they going to be laughing? And that's on me to gather that data by doing repetition, repetition, repetition. Number 2, how good is the writing? Another thing about me, before I even bring it to stage, I should have a pretty well written. I'm kind of good at writing on the fly. Sometimes I'll just bring a premise up and I'll be able to like make up a well worded joke in the moment. But through repetition, you tighten it up, cut the fat. That's one thing, is you got to cut the fat. A lot of people got a lot of fat on a lot of jokes. My average joke time is like 45 seconds. I can get through a introduction, build some background, tag, punchline within like 40 to 50 seconds is like my average. I usually allot 50 seconds. When I'm building my sets, I give each joke 50 seconds because that's kind of what I've averaged out. There's always areas you can trim fat. It's just like what you should be able to cover the entire joke. Like, you just want meat on that shit, bro. It's like don't dilute a joke by adding in some information, or no, just like fucking find a way to whittle that shit down. It's like, do you need this? Does this part need to be in there? No, take it out. Take it out. If it doesn't add anything, if there's no tag with it, or it doesn't set up the punchline any better, it doesn't need to be there. So it's on you to convey the joke as concise and accurate as possible in the most funny manner in a short period of time. That's my opinion. Unless you're a storyteller. But I'm a joke writer, so that's what I think about. So just again, that's my 3 criteria: is success rate, how hard does it crush, what percentage, like what's the percentage crush rate based on, like, if you're in a room of 100 people, how many people should laugh at this joke? Or if you go do that joke in 100 rooms across the country, how many rooms did you crush in? That's your success rate. And how hard does it crush? Number 2, how well written is it? And number 3, how much do I personally like the joke? So I have a good amount of jokes that are well written and do well. I don't like them, so I bump them down. If that's a big factor to me, because I'll bump what could be a 4 or 5. Like, I have jokes that other comedians I'm friends with will probably see as like a 4 or 5 joke that I rank as like a 2 or a 3, just because I don't like them. I could write a great joke. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna tell it. You know? I don't care if it does well. And if other people like it, if I don't like it, why am I gonna tell it? Then I'm not doing my comedy. So that's why that's a big factor for me, is I better like the joke. So I'm not going to tell jokes that I don't like. So when you're evaluating your material, success rate, which I've described numerous times, I'm trying to paint this as clear as possible. So success rate, how hard does it crush? And, based on diversified audiences, how often does it crush? Well written, and how much do you like it? And then the main thing with this is you have to be honest with yourself. You have to have an eye. Like, you have to step out of it's all about perspective. So I feel like there's some comedians that probably can't do this because they don't understand. I think this is why assigning numerical value to bits is important. Because there's a lot of comedians that are delusional, that don't understand. They don't even know that they're bombing. Okay, they don't even know that their jokes are bad. Um, so maybe this introducing this ranking system will make people more aware. I don't know, because they won't be able to evaluate their success rate if they don't know that they're bombing, and they don't know how bad. Yeah, I don't know. If you're a delusional comedian, just good luck, man. But really looking at this as like an analytical thing and like being in reality. Don't be delusional. Like really pay attention when bits are crushing and when they're not, and how often they crush. Because I mean, you can have I have bits that I have ranked 5 that murder 95, 98% of the time. But there is a time where it'll just eat shit. I'm in a room that doesn't like me. They don't like my style of comedy. So I will keep that feedback, but it's not going to ruin the other 95% of the time that this bit crushes. So, and crushes hard. That's a big factor. How hard does it crush? Some people take a giggle as like a crush. I don't think that's a crush. A crush is like out of breath laughter. I would rather half the crowd be out of breath laughing, screaming, than the entire crowd be giggling. But you have to evaluate, like, both of those are successes. So, um, so it's all about success rate, analyzing how well written your jokes are, and being true with yourself and your style of comedy and how you like it. You have to have an eye. Okay, this is all about perspective. Okay, pay attention. Are you just throwing shit out? You have to. I'm trying to give people a system to use if they're trying to get better at comedy. So, rank your bits. I mean, I've got like I'm giving you like numerical values. I just told you my average joke time, 50 seconds. That's how I allot my bits in my sets. So like a 10-minute set, I can get 14 jokes off. 15-minute set, I can get about 20 off. 20-minute set, I can get like 24 to 26. 30-minute set, I can get up near 40 bits. See, I'm analyzing my data, so I know what my average joke time is. I analyze each bit based on how it's performed in different rooms. How hard does it work? How hard does it crush? How often does it crush? How well written is it? That's something you kind of just got to figure out. Other comedians will tell you if they really like a bit. That usually means, hey, you wrote a good bit. It's a clever bit. It's on a good premise, you know. You worded it good. Maybe they'll give you a tag, or they'll give you some pointer if it's that'll help you with the writing part of it if there's something lacking on it. And then figure out what your style of comedy is and what bits you like telling. So I've just given you a system. Rank your bits 1 to 5. 5 being your best material, 4 being your B material, 3 your C material. So like a 5 is a, 4 is a B, 3 is a C, 2 is a D, and then like ones and zeros you shouldn't even tell. So like my 10-minute set is all A's, all A bits. My 15-minute set is all A's and like 6 B's. My 20-minute set is basically my 15-minute set plus I think like 4 more B's. And then my 30-minute set, then I start to get down into the C's, my threes. So I have like a handful of 3s in there. But I've used up all my 5s and 4s. That's why I'm into my 3s, because I'm focusing on using my best material in these allotted time frames. And then you can average out your material. So like for my 10-minute set, the average is 5 because it's all 5s. The average for my 15-minute set is a 4.87. The average for my 20-minute set is a 4.583. So like I'm really good up until about 20, because like a 4.583, that's pretty high. That's I think that's what is it, 4.583. Oh, shit, I did divided. 4.583 times. That's a 91.66%. And the my 15-minute set is a 97.4 based on my grading. But then once I get into my 30-minute set, that's when I'm starting to dig into my threes, my C material. It's a 4.153, I think. 4.153 times 20, which is still an 83.06% out of 100. But that's a fall off from like my 20-minute set is a 90. I think it was a 91 or something, or 93. And then it drops to an 83. So now it's a B average set. But I'm doing 30 minutes, so I'm trying to do my best material, but I'm being very strict with my grading. And maybe some of my C's, my threes and my C's, I mean, maybe they'll crush in that room, you know? That's just based off how I grade them on strength. That doesn't mean they're not going to do well. But just being critical with stand up, and you have to have an eye to analyze your material. And don't compare your progress. Okay, focus on what you're working on. All right, you got to focus on what you're fucking working on. Got to be working. Yeah, and here's a comedy tip: post everything on Instagram. Post every joke. No, I'm kidding. A lot of comedians start and just like post their first open mic bit. It's like, oh, this is my first bit. Post everything and make sure it's cell phone bad quality. I just posted a cell phone bad quality clip because that was the only video I had. I think it's got like 5,000 views though, so it's doing all right. It's getting shared a lot. The internet is not real. Focus on real life, okay? Because there's a lot of comedians that are like, you need to get your internet presence down. It's like, oh, yeah, cool. Oh, yeah. I'm sure Netflix is going to call me soon. It's like, no, dude. If you're not a fucking pro comedian, maybe don't worry about it too much. I think it is good. It's good to have. I mean, I have a pretty good internet presence on like YouTube and Instagram. I've gotten some. I've got over like close to 3.5 million views. So I actually have a good internet resume, but that doesn't mean I'm a good comedian. I am a good comedian, but there's comedians out there that have good success online, but they're not good comedians. So the whole thing is about becoming a good comedian. Can you go on the road and do 10, 15, 20, 30? Can you crush? Can you crush on the road? Can you do road work as a comedian and perform well? That's what you should be focused on. Focus on real life. Crushing in the room. A lot of people fucking will bomb and then clip one thing. And maybe the clip will do good, but it's like you bombed. So who gives a fuck? Who cares if that clip went viral if the set wasn't a murder? You should be focusing on crushing. Okay? So focus on that. And to talk about fighting, dude. I've been training for maybe they'll let me box at Skankfest, you know. I've been working out, lifting and boxing and shit. I just hit the double end bag before I hopped on the pod. I'm fucking in the zone right now. But I want to talk about the importance of the jab. Okay? The fastest way to travel from point A to point B is what? You guessed it, a straight fucking line. Straight punches are important. Your 1 and your 2, your jab and your cross. But your jab is the most important punch in boxing. Why? Because you're standing in a staggered stance where one shoulder is forward and one shoulder is back. Therefore, the jab of the lead arm is the closest weapon you have to reach your target. If my target, the furthest I can hit a target on like the edge of my range is a jab. I can't hit him with a left hook. A left hook is a tighter punch. I can't hit him with the right cross unless I step into it. Your jab is the closest punch that you can have to your target because it's your lead shoulder and it's a straight punch. So you're maximizing all your reach and your body position. And you can win a fight off a jab. Not only can you win fights off jabs, if you have a phenomenal jab, you can be a professional boxer off just that. That's how important it is. When I started boxing, I got a great jab really quick because I focused on that. Because Muhammad Ali was so good at jabs, and I was like, there's something to that. Especially if I have height on you, I'm going to get my distance down to where I can just like float around the ring. I can just circle to my left and keep you at range. And I can touch you with my jab. And if you come in, I'm going to hit you with the jab, and I'm going to keep you at range. So like every time you try to close distance, I got a fucking left hand right in your face. And I can just glide around the ring. I got videotapes I could send you on this of me just floating around a ring, just flicking the jab and just touching motherfuckers up. The importance of the jab is crucial. Even if you're a smaller guy, you got a jab. A jab is also a very good distraction. I use the jab the jab sets up other things. 1-2. 1-1-2. Sometimes you just flick the jab out there just to get their attention. I'll jab a couple times up high and then just lean into a fucking right hand to the body. And it's like the jabs were just a distraction. I wasn't even trying to hit you. I was just trying to flick something in your face to keep you preoccupied so I could fucking punch you in the stomach as hard as I could. Or sometimes I'll throw a jab and then loop around to a left hook. So I get their guard forward with the jab, and then my left hook sinks around the side. The jab is a gateway to many things, and it's important. And I could probably do a whole pod on the jab, but I just wanted to give it a good couple minutes to talk about how important it is. Straight punches in general are important. The jab is the most important, but the right hand is very important as well. To me, my right hand is my equalizer. So if I get mad, there was the last sparring session I was in was with a guy who was like trains professional fighters. I think he did fight professionally. He was a Muay Thai coach, but he hit me he was going harder than I was, and I was like, okay, you want to go hard? And it was at the very end of the round, and I was like, I'm gonna find somewhere where I'm gonna put my right hand on you, and you're gonna regret that. It's like, if I feel like going very hard, I have a very nice left hook, but my right hand, my straight right, is like, you're fucked. Okay. I'm never losing a fight. Never. I might be behind on points, but I'm just like, hey, all I need is to find one spot where I can land my right. And that's going to change how he operates. Even if it doesn't knock him out, he's gonna be scared. He's gonna be like, oh shit, I didn't know he had that. All I need is one good shot. I've been watching a lot of like Marvin Hagler videos. One of my favorite quotes of his is, "I've been feeding the faith and starving the doubt." And I think that's kind of what these good comedy shows. I get that from my training as well. I've gotten very confident over the last couple of years. I'm the most dangerous I've ever been physically, period, bar none. I keep getting better. As the years go by. I'm the most dangerous I've ever been. Also with comedy, I'm getting very confident in myself. I'm getting very confident in myself. I'm doing my first headlining set on the road on Friday in Macon, Georgia. Just crushed on the road last week, featuring for a comedy mothership regular. I'm feeding the faith and starving the doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm gonna win. Marvin Hagler said. And one of my other favorite quotes of his is, "To knock me out, you better hit me with that ring post because I'm not going anywhere. To knock me out, you better hit me with that ring post because I ain't going nowhere." That's what he said. Gangster shit. The dude was an animal. Not only is jabs important, but timing. Timing is actually the most, not talking weapons wise, but when it comes to the game of fighting and stand-up comedy, timing is something that is maybe the most critical thing. I think comedic timing might be, I mean, it doesn't replace joke writing, but if you don't deliver a joke with comedic timing, you ruin the joke. Like, you can't, if you don't hit the beats of the joke right, if you can't deliver it well, you can't be a comedian. You can't be a comedian without timing. Same thing with fighting. You can't fight if you can't time well, because timing beats power and speed. You know, if you're swinging hard and swinging fast, if I beat you timing, I'm gonna hit you and you're not gonna hit me. Like, I'm gonna clock you before you clock me. So Floyd Mayweather, what Floyd Mayweather was so good is because his timing and accuracy was insane. He wasn't the fastest or the strongest. He was just the smartest. He knew what was coming, and he just timed motherfuckers. His reaction time and timing was insane. Same thing with comedy. You got to be able to hit the beats and deliver the joke well. If you don't have comedic timing, you can't be a comedian. You can be a joke writer, but if you can't perform the joke with comedic timing, you can't do it. You can't do it. Okay. Been all over the place. Hey, this is going to be motivation for, if you're a drug addict, if you're addicted to drugs, if you can't get by a single day without drinking or smoking weed or doing coke, I just wanted to tell you this. And you're not going to like this, but this might be the best advice you've ever heard. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. A lot of people that have substance abuse problems are unhappy and they're using it as an escape, but a lot of them justify it with a lot of selfish crybaby bullshit, including me when I was addicted to weed and fucking Adderall. I had to do it. I had to. Because you don't understand what I got going on in my life. Like, that's the kind of thing drug addicts say. It's just like, I can't deal with what all this shit, blah blah blah. It's like, get your shit together. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop being a selfish crybaby. Okay, come back to reality and handle your shit. But now, if you do occasionally drink, and you have to drive home, I'm going to give you my DUI protocol. Okay? This is what you do. If I'm drinking at a show and I'm not staying at a friend's house or at a hotel, if it's within driving distance, which to me could be as far as an hour away or 2 hours away across state lines. I've done this many times. This is what you do. Okay? Before I get in the car, I have my entertainment queued up for the entire length of the car ride. Okay, so if I've got a 1 hour, 2 hour drive, to me, I'll probably throw on a podcast. So I'll throw on a podcast that's longer than the duration of the drive, or I'll find a podcast playlist like Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast / War Mode. There's a Spotify playlist called MSSPX War Mode that has all their episodes together, and I'll just throw that on if it's a long drive or a short one. So I don't need to change the song or anything on my phone. Period. The whole point of if you're gonna drive while buzzed, okay, responsibly. I'm not saying blackout. If you're going to drive while buzzed, you cannot be picking up your phone, period. You're fucking up, okay? Your entertainment should be cued for the ride, okay? Also, you should have the destination locked into your map. Like, my Siri is telling me the directions as they happen. So she's going to say, hey, in 59 miles, turn right off exit 58. Or turn left at the next stoplight. You know, I don't need to look at my phone for anything. Okay, Apple CarPlay's got the directions on. Siri's giving me a play-by-play, and the podcast is running. So I'm not touching my phone, period. Hands are on the wheel, focused on the road. I'm trying to save lives here, guys. If you're going to drive buzzed, which legally I don't condone, definitely don't do a blackout. But if you are in this situation, limit distractions. Okay, have your entertainment queued up. You don't need to change songs. Pick up your phone, scroll, try to find a song. I think that's why I like podcasts more, is because I think songs, you either have to hit shuffle and just keep on hitting next on the steering wheel, but a lot of people like to pick up their phone and try to find let me find this album or find this song. I want to hear this song right now. That's how you start swerving. That's how you get pulled over or worse. Okay? So have your entertainment. If you know what songs you want to listen to on the way home, queue them up. Start queuing them up before you even get in the car, before you even start the car. Because you got to be hands on the wheel, dog. You can't be picking up your phone to find, oh man, I want to hear that Travis Scott song. Oh, I want to hear that new West Side Gun song, Eddie Bauer, which is a banger. It's a good song. If you don't have it queued up, hey, listen to it when you get home. Sorry. You should have it queued up. You should have your entertainment planned for the trip. Okay? Your hands on the wheel. It's not about entertainment, it's about getting home safe now. So you got to listen to whatever's coming up on shuffle and just vibe with it. That's on you. You got to vibe with what you got. And I usually do a podcast. Sometimes I'll do songs and just hit shuffle and keep skipping. You know, that's fun. That's like I'm just like, you know, what song's coming up next? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a banger. You just fucking vibe to whatever comes up, dude. Don't try to curate your drive home. Just vibe with what comes up. And you should already have the destination. Like, your entertainment and your directions home should already be on your phone before you even put the car in drive. Your two hands on the wheel. And that's how you get home safe. All right, guys. Trying to think of something stupid to end on. You know what? You know what's stupid is your fucking mom. All right. I don't have time to bring up a stupid joke. I've been putting y'all on game. This is a very factual, informational podcast. I mean, I gave you a fucking system and formula how to get better at stand-up comedy. Gave you some really good fighting tips, and I gave you some great DUI protocols to get home safe when you're buzzed. So, I've just been fucking giving game back to the streets, honestly. So, if you want to hear something funny, go check out my fucking YouTube page. Hit subscribe. Check out my YouTube shorts. Go check out my Instagram. A lot of funny clips on that. Or come see me at a fucking show, bitch. Fucking crush. I fucking crush your mom. Oh, the plug's calling. Damn, the plug's calling. I just hung up. Damn, the plug's calling. I think he wants to fuck. Go fuck your plug, all right? Later.